Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening. It's Saturday night and it is 10 o'clock in the evening. If you're watching us from California or the Pacific, it is a beautiful, kind of nippy, cold Saturday evening. But if you're watching us from the Philippines, magandang hapon po sa inyo. It's currently 1 p.m. I think it's 1:06 p.m. in the Philippines. And if you're watching us across the globe, magandang umaga, tanghali at gabi. And I really sincerely hope that you're having a wonderful time and a wonderful day. So this is a wonderful day today. So actually for us, it's a wonderful night. It's not as hot, it's not as cold, but it's just tama lang. So before anything else, live na live po kami on PHLV Radio Facebook page, also PHLV Radio YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? All you have to do is like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our shows. Now, also, if you are using Alexa, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play PHLV Radio. And if you are a subscriber to Amazon Fire TV, all you have to do is say, or look for PHLV TV channel. Then a lot of you are also asking if you could hear us or do an audio streaming. Yes, we do have audio streaming, live na live as well on different podcasts, namely Google Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and Spotify. And if you missed any of the shows or most of you are running late because of the time difference, no problem and no worries at all. All you have to do is log into PHLV Radio YouTube channel. And it's already on the playlist on all the shows, past and present shows of PHLV Radio. Or you could definitely go to our website, which is www.phlvradio.com. That being said, again, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And for other parts of the world who will be watching or is watching right now, good day to everyone. Maganda po yung topic natin for today. It's so timely. And so I'll be needing, again, people's help. Kasi ito, especially our ladies who are always constantly being with us. So maganda po ito. Ito ay may kaugnayan sa mga kababaihan na pangakong napako. O yung mga nagpa-promise yan na hindi naman tinutupad. Yun po ang ating topic for today. Yun ang ating letter sender. And I'm trying to look for it as we speak. Yung kanyang pinadalang letter sa atin. Okay, hold on lang po. Okay, I'm trying to get in there. So here we go. Pangakong Napako, and before anything else, so good evening to everyone. I'm at the house of a good friend, so you could tell I'm not in my home base that normally you would see me na nagla-live, but live na live po tayo ngayon. So ito po, ang ating title or episode for today is Pangakong Napako or Unfulfilled Promise o yung mga nangako pero hindi naman na follow through. So maganda yung topic natin at I need help ng ating mga listeners dahil ito ay patungkol sa mga pangakong na ilatag o naibigay sa isang tao na kanyang sinisinta o kanyang minahal. Okay, let me see first if I could go to another site here. Hold on lang po. And we'll see. Okay, now before anything else, McCoy Marcos into this show, shout out to you. I hope your daughter Catalina is doing very well. And then Gina Marcos, hey Gina, I need your help today. Baka may mga comments kayo later. Seret, nako, importante ang mga opinion nyo ngayon kasi maganda tong topic natin at kailangan ko ng feedback from sa mga sektor ng kababaihan. Adele Ordinarios watching us from Long Beach, California. And then he says, okay, hi Josh and with Kuya Yo. Yes, so eto na, simulan na natin ha, ang ating Pangakong Napako. So yan, yung mga nagpa-promise dyan, naku, eto na. Ang title ng episode natin, let's start, Pangakong Napako. Dear Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, good day to you, your viewers and your listeners. I'm hoping that I would get some opinions and advices from you, your viewers, and your listeners. Ako po si Linda, 28 years old, dating engaged. I was in a relationship for 4 years and engaged for 2 years. Nelson and I, si Nelson yung kanyang tinatangi o yung kanyang fiancé. Nelson and I met at work. We are both medical technologists in one of the hospitals here in Texas. It was love at first sight for us. Nelson is 30 years old, tall, dark, and handsome. Ideal man talaga siya at never been married, although maraming past girlfriends. The courtship took 6 months before I said yes to be his girlfriend. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, wala namang problema kay Nelson. He is caring, loving, super malambing, at mabuting kapatid at anak. For the 4 years of our relationships, wala namang kaming major problem na we fought about. Ang lagi lang naming nagiging issue ay ang time, oras for each other. December 2019, he proposed and I happily accepted. Parang movie ang proposal na ginawa niya sa akin. On his knees when he asked to marry him. Pero pelikulang-pelikula at teleserye talaga ang dating. Dahil may mga butterflies, flowers, at the whole work pa na ginawa at kinonvert ang isang ballroom sa isang restaurant. Like what I said, wala talaga kaming problema at walang naging problema other than time. Time for each other na lang talaga lagi ang issue namin for one another. It became more evident at naging mas grabe when the pandemic started in March 2020. Nag-lockdown, di ba? We were always busy with our profession at lalo pang naging mahirap during the onset of the pandemic na almost di na kami nagkikita dahil sa trabaho. Panay FaceTime na lang kami at text sa isa't isa. October 2021, he broke up the October 2021, he broke up the engagement with me. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, walang dahilan ang sabi niya. Basta ang sabi niya the pandemic made him realize na hindi kami ang para sa isa't isa. I asked him kung may third party ba. Wala naman. Ang sabi niya, wala rin naman akong narinig o nalaman sa mga close friends niya kung meron talagang third party. Basta ang sabi niya, mahal niya ako pero not enough to marry me. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, ang sakit-sakit. Parang pinaghukluban ako ng langit at lupa. Imagine 4 years yon na binuo namin ang aming mga pangarap. 4 years yon na lahat ng attention ko ay nakafocus lang sa kanya. Is it possible to wake up one morning at masabi mong hindi mo na ganun kamahal ang isang tao? Pwede bang sa isang araw o sa isang iglap ay ayaw mo na? What about our promises? Mga pangakong ginawa namin sa isa't isa. To love and to cherish each other hanggang katapusan. Ganun lang ba yun? I went into depression, Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, for some time. I even went to see a psychiatrist for some help. I resigned from the hospital so I do not have to see him and to avoid crossing our paths. To this day, I still cry about what happened to us. Hindi ko ma-accept na walang reason siyang binigay sa akin why he decided to end our relationship, including engagement. Ganun na lang ba yun? I would admit, I begged him to come back to me. Lumuhod ako sa kanya para balikan niya ako, ngunit wala pa rin. Repeatedly he said na mahal niya ako pero not enough to marry me. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, ano kaya ang diferensya ko? Nagkakaroon na ako ng anxiety attack at insecurity sa sarili ko. Slowly, I'm trying my very best to accept what happened to us. I'm trying my best to move on with my life without Nelson. Napakasakit, pero I need to do this for me. I need to move on. Hindi para kay Nelson, kundi para sa akin. Isa pang tanong ko, Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, dapat ko bang ibalik sa kanya engagement ring na binigay niya? Different opinions ng mga kaibigan ko at pati na ng mga magulang ko. Some said dapat isoli ko yung engagement ring, while yung iba naman wag daw isoli. At yung iba naman sell it o ibenta ko daw. Litong-lito ako. Honestly, the ring is just a reminder of my love lost. Part of me wants to keep it to remind me of my stupidity, while the other part of me is telling me to hold on kasi it reminds me of the beautiful memories Nelson and I had together. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, should I continue to love Nelson? Should I continue to fight for my love for him kahit ayaw na niya? Should I really forget him? What about the ring? What should I do? Nagmamahal at taga-subaybay, Linda. O yun, ang ating topic for today. O di ba? Ibang-iba siya. Ano ba? Yung mga pangako-pangako na yan, ha? Okay, si Adele is watching. Si Divine Grace watching also. Divine, I'm not sure if you understood the letter. I'm not sure if you could understand Filipino. I could always translate. It's Alexander Francis is watching also from Quezon City. Hello everybody. O anong comment nyo? Ito yung mga, okay, summarize ko lang para doon sa mga hindi Tagalog speaker. So it's a question of a lost promise or a promise unfulfilled. Technically, what was said is Linda is 28 years old. She was engaged for 2 years, but the relationship is for 4 years. The guy involved is Nelson. They're both medical technologists working in a hospital. And so there was a promise. They were engaged. There was a ring given to her. And then all of a sudden, one eventful day, of course, the problem that they had, according to Linda, was time. They don't have much time to see each other, let alone to be together, especially during the pandemic. That being said, all they could do during this time was FaceTime and text. So that was really a problem. And according to Linda, there's really not a major problem other than that, the time that they lack of time for each other or time to spend with each other, especially during the onset of the pandemic. Now, as of December, I believe it is December 2019. Remember, March they became boyfriend and girlfriend engaged in December 2019. And then, of course, we all know that March 2020, that's where the pandemic hit. Then in the last part of 2021, Nelson told her that the engagement is off. And then there's no third party, according to Linda and according to Nelson. But the reason Nelson gave Linda was Nelson still loves her, but not enough to marry her. So that's basically what it is. So her question now is, and Linda even tried her very best. She even knelt down and then begged for Nelson to love her again, but it became futile. Linda got into depression. She even solicited psychiatric help to help her to overcome all this depression. But now she's okay. She's fighting for supposedly, and now she realized that life has to move on without Nelson. So there's two things that she would like us to help her or to give advice or opinion. One, should she continue loving Nelson and making sure that all things that she could do to regain that love for each other? Secondly, what would she do with the ring? The engagement ring, she said, there's several opinions being given to her by her friends. Some said keep it. Second, the other set of friends said give it back or return it to Nelson. And the other, including her parents, said sell it. So those are the little things or issues. And hopefully those listeners who are not Filipino speaker would understand. So that being said, ito muna, grabe. Oh, Catherine Cruz is watching. Catherine is the the wife of the former Consul General of Los Angeles. And hello, Catherine, for watching. And of course, as we all know, Conjen Adele Cruz is now the chief of presidential protocol in the Philippines under the Marcos administration, as well as the presidential advisor for foreign affairs. So again, like what I said yesterday in our show, congratulations, COPP Adele Cruz. So hello, Catherine Cruz, for watching. Eto na, Azaret, fresh na fresh. Azaret, thank you. Sabi ni Azaret, I'm sorry to hear your story, I guess referring to Linda. I really feel the pain. It's hard to move on. It's okay to cry and cry, but you know what? You will wake up one day na wala na yung pain. You won't cry anymore kasi move on ka na. Just pray and be strong. Minsan kasi may darating sa atin para maging more strong tayo para sa next chapter ng life natin. Mas kakayanin natin. Minsan may darating just to be part of our life, but it's not our destiny. Uy, ang ganda, Asterin. That is so true. Kasi I read one of the thing na minsan kasi people will send you cards and that there are people that comes into our life for different reasons. Some of them, we meet them to give us lessons, some to test us, some to give us memories, and some are for gifts. So yung nangyari, tama yung sinabi ni Azaret, maganda na you're trying to move on, Linda. Firstly, thank you for trusting us. Thank you for allowing us to share your story. Talagang mahirap to be in your position. Imagine I could understand the pain. Imagine you've been in a relationship for 4 years, tapos you were engaged for 2 years. And of course, di ba, when you get into a relationship, especially in your case, talagang parang you devote, sabi mo nga, all your focus was given to Nelson. Pero ang medyo masakit kasi doon yung question mo nga, is it possible na nagising ka na isang umaga, hindi mo na mahal o hindi mo na gustong ituloy yung pangako mo, yung promise mo to marry si Linda? Yun medyo masakit, especially when there's no enough reason that was given to you. It's confusing at times as well kasi wala namang third party. At minsan kasi naitanong na rin sa akin, posible ba na magising ka na isang araw na yung mahal mo hindi mo na mahal? Kasi yung parang sinabi nga ni Nelson, na Linda said in her email, mahal pa rin si Linda ni Nelson pero not enough. Ang sakit noon. Mahal ka pero not enough to marry you. At all this analyzation, all this realization came about because of the pandemic. Minsan kasi, I understand also, pag pareho kayo ng profession, minsan talaga, it's nagiging problema kasi like in this case they're both medical technologists, same field. I have friends na they always tell me or they had mentioned to me, it's always nice kung magkaiba kayo ng profession. Of course, there's always an exception to the rule. But kasi mas maganda raw kunyari kung doktor yung isa naman say engineer o lawyer yung isa, tapos yung isa naman. Kasi pag pareho kayo ng profession, parang raw nauubusan. And I'm sharing with you things that have been said to me, parang nauubusan kayo ng pag-uusapan. Kasi wala na kayo, yung mundo nyo nagiging very limited. Kasi ano papag-usapan na like in this particular case, they're both medical technologists. There's a possibility na nagkakaroon ng sawaan, kumbaga umay, simply because walang mapag-usapan. Yung circle nyo just be among you all these medical technologists. Diba? Mas maganda kasi kung may variation. But of course, it's hard to judge. Sabi nga, do not judge so you don't want to be judged. Okay. Sabi pa ni, si Mariver Diaz. Hello Mariver, are you back? I think Mariver was on a conference ng Mariver Diaz or Dr. Mariver Diaz. She is one of the dermatologists / doctor here in Los Angeles. She has clinics in Tarzana as well as West Covina and I believe in Concord up in Northern California. So she's been gone for a while on attending Zach, or it's a conference that she attended, but now she's back. So welcome back. Dr. Mariver Diaz. So, duktong pa ni Aseret. Aseret, maraming salamat talaga. It's okay to keep loving him if that makes you feel better. Because I know one day you'll get tired of loving him because you don't see any in return. Uy, tama rin yan. Kasi isang tanong rin ni Linda, should Linda, sabi ni Linda, should I continue loving si Nelson? Ang ganda noon, sabi nga ni Asaret, it's okay. Minsan kasi that's our, yun ang nagiging happy pill mo, na loving a person doesn't make you less of a person. Pero minsan talaga, when it's our unrequited love, yung hindi na ibabalik, yung pagmamahal mo, minsan magsasawa ka rin, ma-realize mo, mas importante na mahalin mo ang sarili mo. I always tell people, this is coming from Kuya Josh, when you love someone, especially kung hindi pa kayo nasa state of marriage, always try to love that person at least 80%. Always leave a certain percentage to yourself. Why? Because in the event na hindi magkatuluyan ng inyong relasyon, hindi ka devastated. Kasi there's a possibility kasi na sometimes when we love too much, like we give everything that we have, ang tendency kasi wala ka nang tinitira sa sarili mo. Now, kung mag-asawa kayo, that's a different story kasi you become one person. Sabi nga, di ba, especially sa Catholic wedding or Christian wedding, the two bodies, two souls becomes one. Iba yun. So technically, parang you breathe, you live like one person kasi mag-asawa na kayo. Di ba? Pero kung mag-boyfriend-girlfriend pa lang kayo, I always tell good friends na do not give 100% na parang wala ka nang natira sa sarili mo. Kasi mahirap I would say, mahirap makarecover, especially mga cases like this. Okay? Tapos, okay, Emma also is watching. Hi Emma, how are you? I guess you're back from your short trip to Mexico. So welcome back as well. Sabi ni Mariver Diaz, ni Dr. Mariver, thanks again, Josh. You're most welcome anytime. Tapos, si Adele Saski. Okay. Now, ito yung maganda dyan. Okay, siyempre, yun ang inaamin niya sa atin. So, yung mga, sila Gina Marcos, si Catherine, anong mapalagay nyo, si Divine Gray, what do you think we should advise Linda? Kasi talaga nahirapan siya, and I understand also, especially for the female, sa babae, kasi you guys are more emotional. Talagang, unlike siguro sa guys, of course, there's some exception, no? Pero generally speaking, ang babae kasi very emotional sa kanilang nararamdaman. They're very, kumbaga, sabi nga, ang babae, the difference between a male and female, kung magmahal kayo talaga, you give it all. Sabi nga, heaven and earth, pag nagmamahal, wagas, you give everything. Unlike kami guys, majority sa amin, parang okay, it was a lost love. We kind of spend a little time, but it's easier. I think it's easier for the male species to move on because we're not as emotional. Of course, again, hindi ko nila lahat. There's always exception to the rule. But generally speaking, mas emotional ang mga babae, mas talagang they give their all pag roon sila ng tinatangi o when they are so in love. Sabi nga, di ba, hahamakin ng lahat. There's sometimes nga, di ba, we hear stories even from the letters that were sent to us. Minsan talaga, especially pag bawal na ayaw na magulang doon sa lalaki, talaga yung paglalaban ng babae. Unlike minsan, pag yung guys ang ayaw na magulang, medyo alam mo yung medyo magre-rebel din ng konti. Pero at the end of the day, susundin pa rin yung magulang. Now, as far as yung kay Linda naman, Linda, think about it. Minsan tama naman na nangyari to. Imagine mo kung nagkasal kayo, tapos biglang magising na lang one day si Nelson, sabihin niya, this was a mistake, we should not have married each other. Mas devastating yun. So, as much na I could understand your pain, I could understand what you're going through, I think it is best na nangyari ito instead na na-prolong yan. Imagine mo, nagpakasal kayo tapos only to find out na one day nagising si Nelson na sabihin niya sa'yo, hindi ka niya ganun kamahal na dapat hindi ka niya pinakasalan. I think mas devastating yon, mas mahirap maunawain, especially like what you said, there's no third party. So if you look at it that way, pero although it is still hurt hurtful and painful, at least na-save yung time na hindi pa kayo kasal kasi engagement pa lang. Okay, we're not even talking about the ring ha. Susunod natin yan. Okay, basahin pa natin itong mga ano pa. Teka, marami. Uy, si ano thank you talaga Azareta. Ayan, sabi nga ni Azaret, di ba? Sabi niya. Okay, sabi ni Dr. ni Azaret, you are blessed kasi at least di na kayo kinasal. Mas mahirap pag kinasal pa kayo. Mas masakit. At least wala kayong baby na masasaktan later on. See, pareho kami ng parang sinabi, we have meetings of the mind ni Azaret. Parang it's a blessing in disguise na hindi pa kayo kasal. Imagine kung kasal na kayo tapos sabi nga na sir, lalo na kung na-bless pa kayo ng anak, mas it will be more difficult, it will be more painful. Tapos, ayun, sabi rin ni Azaret, and you don't know na pag move on ka na kasi matatawa ka na lang pag naalala mo how stupid you are just to make him stay. O di ba? Minsan talaga, di ba? I like that. Kasi minsan, it all happened to us. Minsan, di ba, we go to problems, we go to some challenges in our lives. Parang guguhuna ang langit at lupa. And you think that it is the end of the world. And then give it some time, give it a year, 2, 3 years. And then you look back at this particular problem, whether relationship or problem that you're going through your life. And matatawa ka kasi parang ang tanga-tanga mo during the time. Parang feeling mo hopeless case ka na. Parang it's the end of the world. Parang lahat ng tao ikaw pinag-uusapan, only to find out na hindi isolated case yung nangyari sa'yo o nangyayari sa'yo. And then you give a good laugh at parang nagiging natatawa ka na lang kasi parang during that time, I as much as I don't want to use that word, pero parang ang tanga-tanga mo during that time, feeling mo napaka sakit na nangyari sa'yo, na parang sa'yo lang nangyari yun at parang you felt like what I said, it's the end of the world, pero hindi pala. And that, sabi nga, time heals. It's just a matter of time. Lahat naman ng sugat ay nagagamot ng panahon. Okay? Tapos si Adele, teka muna. May advice nasa taas, Josh. Nasa advice ni Adele. Ito pala. Si Adele, sabi niya, thank you, Adele. Sabi ni Adele Ordinario, it happened to me in my 7 years relationship. Wow! Na daig mo pa si Linda, Adela, it hurts, pero it happened. About the engagement ring, I usually give it back. I don't want any memories that comes with it. Yun ang comment ni Adele. Adele, pag-usapan natin yun sa singseng in a minute. And grabe yung sa'yo, how did you manage what did you do to alleviate the pain? Kasi itong kay Linda, 4 years. Yung sa'yo, 7 years, mas matagal. So, ibahagi mo naman sa amin, share mo naman sa amin, what are the steps or things that you did to move on? That's a question for you. That is a request ko sa'yo, Adele. Share mo naman, paano mo, that's 7 years, di ba? Sabi nga, 7 years, mas longer. So, ang question ko sa'yo, paano mo na overcome yung pain? Paano ka naka-move on? What are the steps, ano yung mga ginawa mo to help you move on and forget that 7 years relationship mo? Tapos, sabi ni Mariver, love 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. Okay, sabi ni Gina Marco, sabi niya, hi, wala sa iyo ang problema, nasa kanya. At least habang maaga, nalaman mo na mahirap kung kailan kayo magkasama. Saka kayong magkakahiwalay. Talaga siguro hindi kayo para sa isa't isa. Yun, like what yung sinabi nga ni Saret, sinabi ni Adele, sinabi ni ang sinasabi ko rin, na at least yung problema, at least onset pa lang, ngayon pa lang nangyari na. At tama yung mga sinasabi nyo, and I agree with you, mas maaga, mas malaman mo na, kaysa kung patagalin mo pa to, lalo na kung nagkinasal kayo, that will be harder to move on. Mas masakit. Okay. Sabi naman ni Dr. Mariver Diaz, God is someone better that deserve your faithful heart. Alam mo, totoo yan. Kasi sometimes talaga, and I agree with that 100%, actually 110%. Sometimes kasi we felt like ito na yung tao para sa atin. and we're talking about relationship, then things will happen. And of course, iniyakan mo, talagang na-depress ka, and you felt so bad about it. And then, I always believe that there's someone better na mas deserving sa'yo, especially kapag ganun ka magmahal. Parang I always believe na in my heart na talagang meron talagang taong nakalaan o nakatala for you. It's a question of waiting for God's perfect time. Kasi I always tell people nga in past shows na God's timing is perfect. Hindi siya late, hindi siya early. He's always on time. Yun lang ang panghawakan mo. Na maganda yung mga kino-comment niyo. Now, question naman doon sa sing-sing. Ito na. Ang dapat kasi itatay ko dito sing-sing na brilyante. Pero mas appropriate yata yung Pangakong Napako. Kasi di ba, okay, before we go with the engagement ring, whether to return it or not, firstly, yung mga promises, when you make promise to anybody, whether a relationship or whether any obligation, try to, kaya nga dapat pag nangako ka, pag-isipan mo. Kasi especially when it will affect other people's decision, other people's lives. At kung hindi mo kayang pangatawan yung pinangako mo, you need to communicate. Kasi communicate is key in any relationship. And I believe that with all my heart. Na minsan kasi may mga pangako tayo na nagawa, pero hindi, for some reason, hindi natin kayang panindigan. But you owe it to that person who you made the promise to be honest and to communicate kung ano nangyayari sa'yo. Kasi most of the time, yun lang naman ang kailangan nilang marinig, yung i-communicate mo para hindi mo pinapaasa, hindi sila umaasa at they're holding to that promise or to that thing that you had mentioned na gagawin mo. Pero if you communicate, I think mas magalit man sila, maintindihan ka nila in the long run na at least hindi mo sila pinaasa sa pangako mo. At least naging honest ka na yun lang ang kaya mong ibigay. Now, I am not blaming Nelson from all this. Kasi talaga, and I have experienced that with some of my good friends as well, na talagang minsan, the realization comes in a funny moment in time na all of a sudden, nag-iiba na yung feeling mo sa tao, na you are so in love, you are so moved by this person, pero when other things happen in your life, so you realize na nag-flip na yung feeling na yun. Kaya nga, di ba, there was one time na I was questioned, is love a feeling or a decision? And what I told yung ating letter sender at the time, for me, love is a decision. Kasi yung feeling, nawawala yan eh. Parang kung gutom ka today, pag kumain ka, wala na yung feeling of hunger, di ba? Ako yun. This is my own personal opinion. Pero pag nag-decide kang mahal ng isang tao, kinakarin mo yun. Sometimes nga, di ba, we have phrases in the past na parang hindi ka talaga bet, hindi mo talaga sold sa taong mahal ka. Pero ang tendency, dahil sa sobrang pagmamahal sa'yo, sa sobrang kabaitan, sobrang maganda yung pakikitungo sa napakita, then you learn to know that person better. You tend to na ma-move ka na mahalin mo rin yung tao, and you decided na mamahalin mo siya. Ang maganda talaga, if you ask me, is it better, which one is better, to be feeling in love or to decide na in love ka? Mas maganda talaga, the ideal for me is pareho. Yung feeling mo na in love ka, at the same time, nag-decide ka na mahalin yung tao na yun. Pero if you ask me, mas maganda bang feel mo lang na mahal mo o mas maganda bang nag-decide? Mas gusto ka na nag-decide kang mahalin mo yung tao. Dahil pag nag-decide ka, mas pangangatawan mo. Mas serious yung nararamdaman mo para dun sa isang tao. Okay. Sabi pa ito yung sagot niya ni Azaret. Okay. Sabi ni Gina Marcos, sabi niya, may ibinigay sa iyo si God na tunay na magmamahal sa iyo. So it's just a matter of time, sabi nga ni Gina. Tama naman. Si Azaret, sabi niya, basta just keep praying. It will come in the right time and in God's will. Again, yan ang pinakamaganda ring advice. Sabi nga, prayers move mountain. Totoo yan. prayers is the weapon against bad things that you feel would happen to you. Yan nga raw yung weapon, sabi nila, di ba? Kasi sabi nila, wala pang bibisa kung hindi sa pagdarasal. The prayers will give you the peace of mind, it will comfort you because ito yung hymn na binibigay mo sa Panginoon, sa universe, na things will be better. And when you pray, it doesn't have to be yung recital the words. Prayer is something that is personal within you. Sabi nga, minsan hindi binibigkas ng iyong bibig. It's not what you utter with your lips, but what is in your heart. The deepest feeling, the different requests that you have in your heart, that's already a prayer. Then somebody asked me in the past, how do you pray? Well, if you go with a good book, it will say the prayer is our Lord's Prayer, the Our Father. Pero may sinasabi rin yung mga kaibigan kong pastor at mga priest na lahat ng bagay na ginagawa mo, whether chores or kunya kumakanta ka o kaya magpe-play ka ng piano, nagigitara ka, naglilinis ka ng bahay, this could be a sort of prayer if you offer it to the Lord, if you offer it to the person, to the supreme being that you adore. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, hindi kailangan ito'y nakaluhod ka. Hindi yun, prayer could be in so different forms, different manners. So, kunyari, mahilig kang kumanta, it could be a form of prayer. Mahilig kang magsayaw, it could be a dance offered to the glory of God. Okay? Yun ang sinishare ko sa inyo. Of course, that's my own opinion. Okay? Sabi pa ni Adele Ordinario, ito yung kwento naman ni Adele. Remember, Adele mentioned that yung kay Linda's case happened to her also. Yung relationship niya compared to Linda was 4 years, sa kanya 7 years. Okay? Sabi ni, and I asked kung paano siya nag-move on. Itong si Adele Ordinario. Ang sabi ni Adele Ordinario, iniyakan ko yun ng grabe. I called my best friend and told her about it. May letters pa ako from him na naipon ko that he sent me every week after I left the Philippines to go here in the US. Sobrang sakit. I just go out with my friends after work. Then sa isang party, doon ko na-meet yung naging husband ko. Move on. It's not easy but it can be done. See? Okay yun na. Alam mo, sometimes talaga, it is better to have a friend. Yung friend talaga na tunay kasi meron tayong mga tinatawag na ng friend hindi na okay, kinuwento mo sa friend mo, so-called friend, pero naka-broadcast na pala, minarites ka na, marites na, kinuwento ka na sa buong barangay yung nangyari sa'yo. So you need to be very discerning also and very selective of kung kanino mo sinasabi ang iyong mga innermost feelings. Kasi minsan, may mga kaibigan tayo na feel nila talagang ikaw ang pag-usapan, ikaw yung topic. Parang sabi nga, di ba, parang naka-judgmental. So, one of the, kasi minsan lumalala Pero, like yung sinabi nga na Adele, sometimes naman, it's better to, kumbaga may kadamay, you have an ally, meron kang, kumbaga, buddy-buddy, na you could tell at walang judgment, walang kumbaga, hindi ka huhusgahan, hindi ka sisisihin. Pero makikinig lang sa'yo. That's a true friend. And I know all of us who have that. Sometimes it's a family member, sometimes your sisters or your brother, sometimes talaga yung buong pamilya mo na hindi ka i-condemn and they will offer their shoulder so you could cry on or they would listen. Kasi sometimes if you're going through a problem or sabi nga crisis in your life, minsan kahit hindi nila ikaw matulungan, makinig lang sila sa'yo. Listening is the beginning of understanding. Sabi nga, di ba, pag minsan gusto mo lang may makinig sa'yo, gusto mo lang i-share yung nararamdaman mo because sometimes when you talk about your problems or yung crisis mo o yung pinagdadaanan mo, at pag nailabas mo na yun, whether you're crying about it or parang it kind of make you feel better, na gumagaan yung pakiramdam mo, parang hindi ka sasabog yung damdamin mo. Okay? Tapos, sabi pa ni Maribel Diaz, sabi ni Dr. Maribel, promises are meant to be broken. That what people always say. O, di ba? Because their promises are meant to be broken. Tapos, to this day, I'll sooner break my bones than go back on any words I said so dearly to you. Teka, paano ba yun? To this day, I'd rather break my bones than to go back. Oh, meaning, may mga tao like Dr. Mariver na sa kanya, once she gives her promise, once she tells you something, she'll rather break her bone. Yung kumbaga, bahala na ang mangyari, pero gagawin niya yung pinrami siya sa'yo. Sabi pa ni Adele, yung best friend ko naging godmother ng eldest daughter ko. Alam mo yun nga lagi nangyayari, di ba? Yung mga super duper friends natin, parang masyadong magaan na yung loob natin sa kanila. At yun ang nagiging ninong-ninang ng mga magiging anak natin. Maganda yung nangyari kay Adele. Siguro, Linda, I know you're listening and you're watching. I think that's the best is to find a confidant. To find yung talaga maihinga mo yung sa loobin mo. And who knows, baka itong friend mo, itong confidant mo, might know someone na pwedeng i-refer sa'yo. And I also would like you to seek mo siguro yung mga organization, association na mga couples at saka yung mga singles for Christ. Kasi doon marami talagang singles regardless of your age, na talagang they're God-fearing at normally they are mature enough that they know what they want in life and they're parang mas guided. Of course, depende rin sa yan, but that is one of the advices I can give you. Okay, now about the ring, usap naman tayo ng tungkol dito sa singsing. Sabi nga niya kasi, aside from yun nga, should she return the ring? Alam mo, ito yung nabasa ko and this is sa good manners na dapat gawin. Pag daw, okay, but of course, ito yung kuro-kuro and what I've shared with you are things that I know and na pwede ko i-share sa'yo. Kasi there was a case that was given to me prior to this show, a long time ago. Yan din ang dilema. Siya naman, yung friend ko, na female friend, siya yung nag-break ng kanilang engagement. Meaning, she felt na hindi ito yung guy na gusto niya pakasalan, pero engaged na sila. So, ang rule talaga daw, and of course, yung nakikinig, please do comment on that. Yung sa singsing kasi, ang rule daw dyan, kapag ikaw ang nag-break ng engagement, it is an obligation. Kung ikaw yung babae, break mo yung engagement doon sa lalaki, yung engagement ring has to be returned or must be returned to the guy kasi ikaw yung nag-break. Pero dito kay Linda, si Nelson na nag-break, so ang rule daw ay you should and can keep the ring. Now, sabi nga ng iba, sabi mo nga, it reminds you of the good thing. So, kung nagiging reminder ng mga masasamang karanasan, masasamang, I would say, masasamang ideas or things that reminds you badly about Nelson, I would say na kesa inventa mo, i-cast mo, meaning, kasi may mga na ano naman yan na re-reconfigure na you could still keep it because it's not an obligation for you to return the ring, the engagement ring, simply because it was not you who broke the promise. It was not you who broke the engagement. It was Nelson. So ang rule daw dyan is you are not obligated to return the ring. And whatever you do with the ring, that's your own discretion. Nasa sayo na yan. Pero hindi ka obligadong i-return to. May mga Nelsons of the world na hihingi na yung ring back. Pero you are not obligated to return it. They could always ask. Pero kung ikaw ang nag-break ng engagement at ikaw ang umayaw at nasa yung singsing, it is your obligation, moral obligation, to return it kasi wala kang karapatan. You don't have the right morally to keep the ring kasi ikaw yung nag-break ng engagement. So technically, parang sa i-equate ko lang, of course, in a different degree. May magtatanong kasi pag yung mga magkakaibigan lumabas at ayaw nila yung sabi nga nila KKB o kanya-kanyang bayan. Kung sino ang nagyaya, yun ang rule. Kung sino nagyaya ng dinner, yun ang automatic na yun ang taya sa pagbabayad. For example, you have a good friend. Siya nagyaya. Sino nagyaya? Siya magbabayad. Iba yung girlfriend-boyfriend ha. We're talking about platonic friends. Kung sino nagyaya, yun ang magbabayad. Unless, of course, one, mas may kaya ka kaysa sa friend mo. Siyempre, alam mo na mas malaking sweldo mo, mas you have a better life, mas financially you're way better off. Huwag mo na obligahin yung kaibigan mo na alam mo having a difficulty getting with their finances. So i-play mo na lang yon. Parang you're doing the right thing na ikaw na yung magbayad. Pero ang general rule kung sino yung nagyaya, yun ang magbabayad. Sabi nga, kung sino yung nagyaya, yun ang taya. Pero, of course, with some reservations, okay? Kumbaga, depende yan sa financial situation. Kasi may mga kaibigan tayo gusto lang ikaw kasama, pero hindi naman sila financially capable bayaran yung kakainin nyo, especially kung ang place masyadong mahal. So, dapat may clear understanding. Pero what I'm sharing to you is the general rule. Okay? Tapos, duktong pa ni Adele Ordinario, friendship namin, 39 years na, and I go to visit her in Chicago once in a while. Makakaya mo rin yan. Time heals, ika nga. Tama. Yung friendship nila, nung godmother, yata nung pinagsabihan niya, has moved on to 39 years. At I guess she's based in Chicago. So you guys, what do you think? Tama ba yung, dapat ba niyang isole? Especially sa mga kababaihan. Dapat bang isole engagement ring? Kasi para sa akin, hindi dapat isole. Okay, I'm coming from the male point of view. Hindi dapat isole ni Linda yung engagement ring dahil si Nelson naman ang nag-break ng kanilang engagement. So, one of my good friends said, kabayaran na ni Nelson yun dahil nga sa promise, the broken promise. Hindi naman kabayaran. It's just about what is meant to be. Okay, yung kumbaga, yun ang rule na, hey, ikaw nag-break ng engagement, so you owe it to Linda na ikaw hindi mo bawiin yung engagement ring. Okay? Now, sabi ni Adele, Adele, nakakaloka talaga. Ito yung sabi ni Adele, I love diamond rings, pero binalik ko pa din yung engagement ring. For me, may sour memories na yon. Yon, personal opinion mo na yon. Meaning, kung sa tingin mo, like what I said earlier, kung yung ring ay naging reminder ng masasakit, bad memories, at nagkakaroon ka ng anxiety because of every time you see that ring, you are reminded of that unfulfilled or broken promise. So it is your own discretion whether to return it or not. But in this particular case, if you are asking, Silvina was asking, what is the right thing to do? Should the engagement be returned or should she keep it? My advice to you and my opinion is it is your moral right to keep it. Okay? Now, si Alexander Francisco, yay! Meron naman tayo sa mga kalalakihan. Sabi ni Alexander Francisco, bagaman masakit ang pangyayaring naganap sa buhay mo, Linda, dapat mong ipagpasalamat na nakilala mong maaga ang taong pakakasalan mo dapat. Siguro, nakatadhana na talaga na maganap ang pangyayaring iyon para iiwas ka sa masakit na karanasan kung naging asawa mo na siya. Tama. Lagi mong tandaan may nakalaan si God para sa iyo na karapat-dapat sa iyong pagmamahal. I agree with you. Sabi ko nga, masakit man ngayon, masakit man isipin, masakit man tanggapin, but sometimes, sabi nga, yung sakit, temporary lang yan. Mas maganda nga na protect ka ni Lord na hindi ito mapang-asawa mo si Nelson kasi baka mamaya kung kanya kayo kasal, doon lalo kayo magkaproblema dahil sa pagbabago ng kanyang feelings towards you. And I always believe lahat ng tao, lahat tayo may nakalaan. It's a question of kailan darating ito or kailan kayo magkakatagpo. And it's a question of kailan ito mangyayari. So it is always sabi nga, you always pray for discernment. You always pray for that perfect time ni Lord kung na nakalaan para sa buhay mo. Yun. Okay. Tignan natin kung meron pang comment. So yun, yung last nating topic would be yung ring up. So sa tingin nyo, sa mga kababaihan, dapat ba isoli ang singsing? Para sa akin, hindi. I-keep mo yung ring, don't feel bad about it. I didn't ask and you didn't make a comment whether malaki ba yung bato. Sabi kasi nung another listener natin na hindi nilagay sa chatroom, pa-appraise mo raw muna yung ring. Kung malaki yung bato, go. Kumbaga, ibenta mo yung bato, ipatunaw mo raw yung ginto. Assuming of course, it's a gold diamond ring. So mga listeners natin, minsan talaga they come up with some ideas na nahiya ilagay sa chatroom pero tinetext ako privately. So ang comment nitong isa nating viewers na tinext ako privately yung daw pa-check daw o pa-appraise daw yung diamond. If it's expensive enough o totoong diamond, sell it. Tapos yung ginto or yung silver na ring itself, minus na dahil ipatuwa at ipagawa ng iba. So, anyways, okay, ito na. Sino pa? Let's see kung meron pang na. Sabi ni Adele, yes, you are right, Kuya Josh, because of moral rights. Siguro pertaining to yung moral rights ni Linda dahil siya yung promise niya ang na-break. Yung engagement binrake ni Nelson. Sabi niya, you are right, Kuya Josh, because moral rights. But this is my opinion. I'm not gonna return it kasi mamaya gamitin pa sa next proposal niya. But I won't keep it as well. Benta ko na lang and donate ko yung pinagbenta sa children with cancer. Okay, that's interesting also, and that's very noble of you to do that. Tama naman, kasi nga, hindi mo maisosoli yung engagement ring dahil ikaw naman ang binrake yung promise. So, it is your moral right. Tama naman, kung hindi mo talaga, it remind you of all these bad things and bad feelings about this ring, then ibenta mo na lang. Tapos kung ayaw mo i-keep yung money, so i-donate mo na lang. Ang gusto ko yun, donate it with children with cancer or anybody that the price of the ring yung napagbentahan would help other people. Kasi kumbaga napakapangit nung nangyari, napakasakit, kumbaga it is so painful yung nangyari sa failed promise, failed engagement mo. At least yung napagbentahan mo ng ring, nagkaroon naman ng purpose. It went to a good cause. It went to a cause that will uplift other people. It would help other people. It will give other people some hope. At nakatulong ka pa. So not only, sabi nga, di ba, yung pangit na nangyari, meron maganda namang kapalit. Pangit nga yung rason, pero yung nangyari naman sa perang pinagbentahan mo ng singseng, nagamit mo sa magandang paraan o magandang pagpupuntahan. So that is so good as well. Thank you sa mga advice nyo at talagang kakapulutan ng aral. Okay, so itong sila, So happy viewing to everybody, to Divine Gray, of course to Adele Ordinario, the selflessly gave us some good advice and opinion. Gina Marcos, of course si Asaret, thank you talaga sa mga comments. Tapos si Catherine Cruz, thank you for watching. Tapos sino pa ba? Si Dr. Maribel Diaz, thank you for your all comments as well. Tapos si Emma, don't worry if you're late, it's okay. You could always watch, like what I said, you could always watch the replay of this show or any shows. And welcome back to LA. Also, you could always review or replay. You could be part of the team replay. We have a lot of those who watch the past shows at nagbibigay sila ng comment, text sila ako na they enjoy the show or nagbibigay sila pa ng additional comment. And whatever comment, good or bad, our letter sender, about the program, you're all welcome. It is a democratic country. So lahat ng comments nyo ay hindi kailangan patronizing, good or bad, because I believe that with your comment, your criticism, constructive criticism, that's the only way we can improve any shows or anything that we do in life, as long na ito ay kapupulutan ng mga pagpuna that would allow us to correct and to make changes or modify things na ikabubuti ng show, na you guys would have fun, you would be entertained, at the same time you would be able to help people through your opinion and advices. Okay? Tapos ano pa? Let's see. So I said already, thank you, Dr. Maribel Diaz, and welcome back as well. Tapos si Azaret, thank you for always being there. Si Alexander Francisco, thank you for always supporting of the show. At teka, tingnan pa natin. Sabi ni Maribel Diaz, ni Doctor, if an engagement is broken in a relationship, it is proper to return the engagement ring. Iba naman opinion ni Dr. Maribel. Dr. Maribel, pero nagkasalunga tayo ng opinion ng konti. Kasi ako, kung sino yung nag-break, yun ang hindi, pag ikaw yung lalaki nag-break, hindi dapat isole. That I read that with an advice of someone knowledgeable about what needs to be done. But of course, it's a case-to-case basis. Minsan kasi may mga kababaihan na parang feeling nila they don't want any part of it. So that's acceptable too. But if we are talking about what should be done, yung parang wala kang bad feeling about what you did, it is always advisable na lang na whoever broke the engagement, hindi kung yung lalaki hindi nag-break ng engagement, you're not obligated to return the ring. Okay, pero it's basically on a case-to-case basis, like what you said. Okay? Ito naman si Adele Ardayo. Sabi ni Adele kasi Adele sometimes na-late pag watching show or any of the shows. Parang ako minsan na-late at watch ako ng replay. Maraming salamat. So Adele, you're one of those na part din ng team live at saka team replay. Pero maraming salamat. Tapos si Maribel, well, actually, depende na rin yan sa'yo. Here in America, a broken engagement can be a very painful and confusing experience. Totoo yan. Naku, di lang painful, magastos pa. Tapos, sabi niya, you were ready for marriage, but it didn't happen. In addition to the emotional distress, you now have to decide who keeps the engagement ring. From a legal point of view, courts have ruled both ways as to whether the ring must be returned. Totoo. It depends on how the specific court classified the gift, and sometimes on the reason behind the broken engagement. Tama. Yeah, I've seen it with Judge Judy. Si Judge Judy was one of the TV judge show namin dito sa California. Yan, may mga ganyan din. So, ulitin ko yung sinabi ni Dr. Maribel. Where actually, depende yan sa'yo. Here in America, we're just sharing that with you. Kung nakikinig kayo from Manila or other parts of the world, a broken engagement can be very painful and confusing experience. You were ready for marriage, but it didn't happen. In addition to the emotional distress, you now have to decide who keeps the engagement ring. So ito yung mga nagpakorte pa. From a legal point of view, courts have ruled both ways. Okay? Totoo yan. To whether the ring will be returned or not. Now, it depends on how the specific court clarifies the gift, and sometimes on the reason behind the broken engagement. So talagang merong legal standpoint, at that would be depending on the court. And of course, like what Dr. Maribel was saying, depende rin sa case ng bakit na-break yung broken promise, yung broken engagement. So, yun, maganda yung mga sinabi ng mga natin. Tapos si Dominic, Elsa Pascual. Hi, Dominic. How are you? Dominic is a good friend as well. At yung kanyang wife, si Elsa, is of course a very, very dear friend and a very good entrepreneur. And they always take care of me at an athlete to make sure that I look good. Basta ganun na lang. Okay. Tapos, so yun, another interesting story for us today. Again, maraming salamat kay Linda. Linda, for sharing. I know you're still hurting. I know, but I will keep you in my prayers, on our prayers. At sana kahit pa paano, this little show of ours was able to give you some opinion, some advices, and like what I said, just a disclaimer, opinions and advices that were discussed tonight is entirely ours. It is not a reflection on the owners and also on the management of PHLV Radio. Okay? Tapos, tapos may ano pa to. Sabi ni Dominic, love you, ingat lagi. As you do the same, and one of these days I will give you a call. Yeah, so maraming salamat, Linda, for trusting us with your story. And I hope that you take it to heart yung aming mga advices and opinions. But like what I said in past shows, at the end of the day, these are opinions and these are our advices to you. But it is still your life to make the decision because you have only one life to live. And especially now, I always tell you, and I'm telling you, and I'm sharing this with you together with other listeners and our viewers, always pray for discernment. You cannot go wrong when you pray. Always leave it to the good Lord, to the supreme being that you love and adore, for the right decision that would make an impact in your life. Yun ang mga little tidbits of information I'd like to share with everybody. Sabi ni Dr. Mariver, sabi niya, more power to you, Josh Anawit, and your live radio talk show. Maraming salamat, and I take this opportunity as well. I was gone for a while because I was traveling, and those people who watched the show yesterday, we showed you the travel log of the travel I did in Europe. It was really a very nice show, and hopefully those people who missed the show, you could go back and watch the replay. We covered the Italy, and specifically Venice, Florence, Naples, at Chicago, and we went to different places. And it was really, really an interesting show yesterday. It was overwhelming. I would like to take this opportunity to thank, pasalamatan lahat po kayo na nanonood, sumusubaybay, sumusuporta sa aming munting show, itong show namin na Dear Kuya Josh at Jen during Saturday at Sunday or any days naman po across the globe. At maraming salamat po for watching yung show ko naman po pag Friday night dito sa Pacific at Saturday po sa Philippines, yung Alam Mo Ba with Josh Andowit. Nakakataba po mo ng puso at I am at a loss of word to express how I feel every time I see po yung mga views at yung mga shared po. Maraming salamat po. I am forever grateful to you at continue supporting not only my shows but also the other shows of PHLV Radio. This is one of those businesses, na radio station, na it has your best interest at heart, the Filipinos abroad, at we covered all topics under the sun. It shows po, it gives you different feel, different taste of what is happening not only in your backyard but across the globe, from news to entertainment to personalities to businesses to associations. Saan ka pa? Nandito na lahat. So PHLV Radio po is one of those shows that you could reckon with, and you could ask your friends and family to subscribe with the PHLV Radio YouTube channel para wala tayong namimiss. Okay? Now, before, sabi ni Adele, thank you Adele, sabi niya, I watched that yesterday night. Very nice. Maraming salamat. Tapos sabi niya, I'll send you another story soon and I'll co-host. Yan! Definitely. Yun, buti yung binanggit mo yun. As you know, Ate Jen is still out of commission. She's still working on some personal things on her side. So, hindi po siya nakakapag-live with me. So, I always tell people na if you're open at you don't have to be shy, ano lang to, exchange of opinion. It doesn't mean na lagi tayo mag-agree or we will agree to disagree. Yun ang bali maganda. Kasi maganda po yung meron tayong kabatuhan. So anybody who would like to co-host, yan si Adele, nag-volunteer na siya. Don't feel bad. Ibigyan po kayo namin ng accreditation so you could be on the show. So nakikita rin ng tao kung sino kayo. Kung mahihain po kayo, it's okay. It's not like we're forcing you to do that. Pero kung medyo gusto nyo rin po para makikita ng tao who you are, it's okay naman po na makita rin kayo ng mga tao. So at least maganda na they could place a face with a name. So yon, kung ready po kayo for the challenge, i-text nyo lang po ako, i-PM nyo po, or i-email nyo lang po ako na you want to co-host. It doesn't have to be a permanent co-host. You can just be a guest co-host on when your time permits. At I will be so excited. I know our viewers and our listeners will be excited as well to have you as our guest co-host while Ate Jen is still out of commission. Yan. So, yun po ang ating tinalakay ngayon. Like I said, our topic for today was Pangakong Napako or broken promise or broken vows. So, yun po ang ating topic. And again, maraming salamat, Linda. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nanood across the globe. You guys are much appreciated. You are making my heart so happy and smiley heart. So, before I close the shows, before I close the show or any shows for that matter, I always advise people to be kind. I know sometimes it's really hard, especially in this day and age. So be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. And any act of kindness that you do to people, I practically guarantee that it will come back to you in so many ways and different times. And that said, maraming salamat. Maapaw na pasasalamat sa inyong lahat. Good evening, good night, and looking forward to a safe, wonderful, phenomenal week to everyone. Those people watching us in the Philippines, happy Sunday po sa inyo, whatever is left of it. For those people watching us in different parts of the world, happy Sunday sa inyo bukas, and looking forward to a wonderful, blessed week ahead of us. Sana po matapos na itong pandemya. Make sure you are vaccinated. Let's protect ourselves. Keep ourselves happy and positive. And with that said, good night, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good day to everyone. Looking forward to see you next week on Alam Mo Ba with Josh and the Wit, as well as Kuya Josh and Ate Jen. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV.